Hey guys, Brandon Robinson here, and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be continuing my Super Mega Baseball 2 season. I am on game number 2, in fact. And as I shrink myself here, I'm going to be showing you what the preview for the next game is. It will be, we're 1-0. We're playing our first road game against the Buzzards, who are also 1-0. You can see the pitching matchup here. It's Kylie Galea. She's a freshman. She's a senior right now. I'm talking about in the past. And this game universe in 2016. She was a freshman. We're facing Erlang Elwood, who doesn't look very fantastic, which is, I guess, a decent thing. If you look at their stuff, all told, their starting pitching stuff isn't great. They have 2 bars out of like 6. They're above average with contact and speed and great defense. So we'll see what kind of game we have ahead of us here. Going off the last game, look at Raisa Magro there, 2 home runs. She had a 4-for-5 performance. Paige Stovland in the 3-hole, also 4-for-5. And then Taylor Doy in the leadoff spot. Gonna do some great damage here again, of course, as you can tell. She had 2 triples in that last game and was the catalyst in that bottom of the 8th inning to do what we had to do to win that game. I think the score was 11-10. It was a come-from-behind victory after being up like 8-0. So, of course, there was me kind of blowing it a little bit there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. Let's get the next game. Let's set the lineup. Now, in the last game, we didn't see any Dulce or Paige Otis. I am looking to get one of them in this game. Kind of start off with, you can see that Jada's showing a bit of a cold funk here. That's a good time to let her kind of rest on that and relax a little bit. You can see that her mojo says tense, and that's something that will help you get her into some more comforting situations or get her to relax on that a little bit. I think that'll do some wonders. So I'm going to see POTUS in this game here. Paige Otis is POTUS. You know, I saw Morella doing some good things as well from the bench, but I want to keep her there one more time. As you can see, Julia's hot, and that's something that I actually want to keep going the way that I imagined I would. Now Kylie's pitching, and I'm actually going to bat her 6th here. I'm going to swap things like this. I'm going to have Jaro be my second leadoff, is what I call it, the 9-hitter. What this allows me to do is, if she gets on, I like to risk running her in situations because she's got speed, and even if she gets out, I have a leadoff hitter on deck, or I have a leadoff hitter at bat if it starts the next inning off to do her leadoff thing. Anything else I want to go with? I'm going to have Raya catch again and Monet play first again for at least another game. You'll see if you catch somebody too long, they start to fatigue a little bit. So it's not like you can catch somebody every game, even if they're hot. Every player fatigues, but catchers, I think, fatigue even more quickly. Keep Jaro again, like I said, in for this game here. And this looks like a fair matchup here. If we start pulling ahead, though, I'm going to get Dulce in. I have to get Dulce in this game, right? 1 appearance every 2 games. So I'm going to get her in a place that I think is going to be beneficial to her. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Looks like this game's also at Sakura Hills. So it looks like another team also has this home field. That's kind of interesting. I didn't even... Of course, there are 20 teams in this whole league, so obviously somebody's bound to have the same field. So hopefully it feels like a home game to me. I'm very comfortable in this park. There are some parks that I'm actually not as comfortable in. It's hard to explain, but after you see different lighting and different grass patterns and different batter's eyes, it's going to give that effect. Just fair warning, I want to tell you something here about what you might be hearing behind me, or maybe not at all. I don't know if my microphone's picking it up at all. There are trees that are going to be cut down. Right back here, right out here. One of them is the tree in my own front yard here, which is, it's a blessing, but for this video, it's a curse. And right now, I'm not doing the right things for Taylor here. So they will be chopping it down, they will be sawing it down. I might, in post, I might go ahead and edit this video a little bit, or the audio, so that it's muted. But it will get loud when they saw, because I heard them sawing another one, our neighbor's tree, and it was not great to hear. But here we go. Sorry about this. All right, so two outs here. already. Paige to get on. After a 3-for-5 performance, she hits it off the end of the bat. Okay, so not quite like the first game, and you know what? That happens. That 8 runs in 4 innings last time was a bit of, I don't want to call it a fluke, but it was a nice upper end of that spectrum there. All right, who's batting? Buttons Bunterson. So he's got speed, he's got contact ability. Be careful of the bunt. Okay, so Kylie, here's what she's featuring. I'm going to try and say it in softball. I don't know if I can really say it in softball terms, but she's got a fastball. She's got a slider, which I'm going to kind of call her curve in a way. You know, softball pitcher's curve isn't like a baseball curve. She's got her drop ball. The fork ball's a drop ball. Nice changeup, some nice break. In real life, she has really good break on this changeup. That's why I tried to make sure that her junk ability was up for this thing. It has some nice drop action to it. And then I gave her what the equivalent of a screwball is here. I'm trying to think if she actually had a screwball, really. I don't know. It's been a few years now, and I've called a lot of pitches for a lot of different pitchers. But I gave her the ability to work around batters in a way that I know that she can. She's a pretty pinpoint accurate pitcher in that when I want her to not walk somebody, I can make sure of that. When I want her to miss on one side of the plate, I'm not going to call a pitch outside and have her miss inside in real life. That's just not going to happen. Not the most speed, but she definitely, throughout the year, she picked up speed as a freshman. So I don't know if she's pitching anymore. The team picked up another pitcher, I believe, the very best year. It might have been the very best year. The very next year as a freshman, and she ran most of the innings. I remember seeing Kylie pitch some, but I don't know if she's pitching much now anymore. Okay, Joseph Trunk. All right, now that I see him chasing a little bit, I want to keep at that. I don't want to be throwing strikes to him right now. There's no reason to. I'm ahead 1-2, and I want to miss off the plate and try and see if he'll offer. You know, the computer doesn't offer very much at strikes. Oh, it's, oh, well, now it's full count, see? I worked that count, and let's see this! Oh! Very close. And that's okay. You know, that's the kind of situation. She'll walk people, but that's more of a, that's not upon my request, not an intentional walk, but that's something that I don't mind because I'm not trying to give in to that guy. Right? So she's throwing fine. This is a situation where, you know, when pitchers walk batters, you know, ordinarily, I'm like, guys, we're not supposed to be doing that. But I'll let them know verbally. 0-2. I'll stay low here. Then I'll go up next time if I have a chance. Okay, I'll be going up this time. But then if a batter walks, one of my pitchers walk a batter where I say, it's fine. You know, I kind of let them know about it. I say, nothing hurt. Let's get the next batter. Even if the next batter doubles or whatever else, I'm telling myself that I was willing to take that risk to not, you know, risk floating one over the plate on that same token. Okay, Raya, 2 home runs the last game, especially that 3-run homer come from behind. 3-run homer. It was clutch. I'm going to power swing with her again. Hope for the best. Yeah! Oh, yeah. I'm not going to on that one. 5 for 6. You math heads out there know that's an 833 batting average. Okay. Monet also stay hot here. She took a 3. I thought she was 4 for 5. No, that was Stoven who was 4 for 5. Yeah. Uh-oh. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. You know what I say? You guys might say the same thing. Just like a bunt. Okay, Kylie. Here we go. Her first at-bat of the year. I like when pitchers get their at-bats because they don't get to bat that much if they don't get to pitch that often. Once every 4 games, at least the starters. There we go. Have some good patience. I might have another success. No! Freeze on a line drive. Whew. I might have another successful offensive game based on the pitcher's speed alone. His attributes are pretty on the pretty low end here, which is kind of nice. All right, Paige Otis, also a freshman, mostly a primary outfielder. I remember in the beginning of the year I worked her at some first base. That would have been her infield position. I feel like in this game more, I have plenty of first basemen. I have Monet, Raya, Gabby Morgan, Jada Walker, and then any other utility players that can play first, so it's going to be tough to squeeze her in there. But I see her playing maybe some second base if I get her in the infield at all. Otherwise, her main position was right field. I think I might have... I know I've seen her at center before. I specifically remember a moment that I had to talk to her about doing some center field duties in a certain way. Anyway, unfortunately couldn't get that runner in scoring position. All right, Jacques O'Flynn, I believe his name. Jacques O'Flynn. I don't know if it's French or Irish. Combination of both. Maybe a Irish father, French mother. I wonder where they come up with the names too. I wonder if the developers, when they make this game, they're like, maybe an Irish person and a French person on the development team created that guy. Whoa, nice throw from the hole. Oh, sick, Paige. Rolf Borgner. I mean, where do they come up with that? Do they type in like a random name database? I don't know. No idea. You know, Kylie's starting off very well here. And as the 7-hitter, you know that the pitcher would be in that next inning. So if I don't get this person out, I still want to feel comfortable enough to get the next person out from there. So next inning I have 8-9-1, and that's important to note that if the first person gets on, now the pitcher has a bunting situation ahead of him that he would likely be attempting, depending on his attributes. My pitchers seem to hit pretty well because of, you know, who they are in this thing, and that's where I had to keep some of the balance in this game. But hang on, I heard someone yelling out there, a tree guy. Oh, nice pitch. All right, Jules. What was she 4 for 5 last game? Is she 5 for 6 as well? 833. She went in 3 for 4. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's good, right? So, okay, Jaro, once again, second leadoff. What I can now do with her are a few options, and the one that I'm going to consider right now is bunting. I can bunt her because of her speed, and I know that Taylor, who's not a huge power hitter, she'll gap some and run out her doubles and triples, but I'm not expecting her to launch deep fly balls to score my runner. Julie is not the fastest in the world to tag up from home, and if they have good arms in the outfield, which I don't know, I want to be sure to, you know, just get some things done. So let's try and get a bunt here. Let's try and move Julia over. And look, successful, right? I'm taking that. That's what I do when I call bunt. I say, I'm okay with the idea that they might not be safe. And that's totally okay. So now you see the infield playing in. And this is where I want to power swing with Taylor. I want to try and muscle it out of that infield. And it's interesting that they're playing in so early. See, look at that. Middle deep fly ball. Oh, look at that. It keeps carrying. Another triple? Oh, he's got a good arm. I'm not going to send her. Sorry. So see, now I know the right fielder has a good arm. And Taylor stays clutch. Her mojo, kick it up. All right, Kendall, I think she was 1 for 4 last game. Now 1 for 5. I want to get her out of this hole. This is a good situation for her to consider to do something in. I'm okay with her not necessarily getting a hit if it means go to the right side like that. Right? I know there's 1 out, and with a runner on third and 2 outs, that's not much more important than a runner on second and 2 outs. Oh, see, that's not helpful, though. In softball, it's in... I like to fill the air with some talk, so I'm going to talk some real-life strategy. Yes, Paige, look at that. Nice job! 2-0. Good. This is good for the next inning. Okay. In baseball, especially when you watch the pros in Major League Baseball, argumentatively speaking, it is not much more beneficial to have a runner on second with 2 outs versus a runner on third with 2 outs. Now, I'm not saying that when you... 3-0. I'm just going to take. He might throw one right down the middle, but he also might on 3-1. Nice, batter walked, and Monet's up. He respected Riot in that situation. Now Monet's up. How do I step out? I can't remember. Hang on. Nope, it's not that button. It's that button. I want to hear my situation out and kind of talk a little bit at the same time. First and second, 2 out, down 0-1, Monet up, and Kylie on deck. Okay. In Major League Baseball, it's not super beneficial to have a runner on third with 2 outs versus runner on second, 2 outs. Now, if you have a free chance to take third at no cost, of course you do that. There's no reason not to. But it's not worth stealing in that position. It's not worth trying to be too aggressive. You hear people say don't try and don't be the third out at third, right? They also say don't be the first out at third, and I'll explain that if I remind myself to do so. I have to remember I have my 8-9-1 up here. Fast player is Emilio, but not a good hitter. So I'm going to challenge him a little bit, because remember, the pitcher's on deck, and I hope the pitcher's not that good of a hitter. There we go. Good job, Kylie. She can also throw a ground ball. That's the thing I liked most about Kylie. She can throw the ground ball. What that means is get a lot of ground balls here as she throws, and has a heavy drop ball, heavy changeup, stuff like that. Okay, the pitcher's up. I'm going to establish fastball first, even if he anticipates. Not the worst thing. Great. Nice job. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Okay, back to my talk, right? I get all over the place with this. I'm sure this commentary is not fun for anyone to listen to. So you're like, get to the point of your previous conversation. And I can go on that conversation for 8 innings if you... Whee! I jumped. That was nice, a little jumping catch. Good job, Kylie. And now you get rewarded with an at-bat. Okay. You don't want to make the third out at third. The reason is because if you're making the third out at third, that means there were 2 outs when you were at second. At least that's the idea. And if there are 2 outs when you're at second, you have the ability to do several things. Number 1 is likely get a big jump with great timing off contact. Good job, Kylie. The reason I state that is because when the contact is made, you're not in fear of them attempting to get you out because they'd rather go 1 or probably 2. Okay, I'm not going to bunt with it really. I'm just seeing how the infield's going to draw this. Sorry, I need to focus on one thing at a time. That page. I'm going to step out for a second so I can get back into my thought. There are likely 2 outs when you're on second, so you can make a nice big jump because they're not going to attempt to get you out at third, likely, unless it's a ground ball right to the third baseman and it's an easy force out. Otherwise, nice bloop! Otherwise, I'd even ask, let's go to, oh, you missed it, Go, Kylie, go. I know he's got a good arm. Yes! Is that an error? I didn't really see what happened. Hold on. That wasn't an error? Didn't that go right by him? Is there a replay? There's a how to play, no replay. Interesting. So the right fielder, great arm, I guess, but not great on that front. Again, I'm glad this pitcher throws slowly, and look at his mojo. Having trouble. Julia has a weak spot. Okay, do I tag up here? I could. Has his arm. It's decent. I'm not going to. What I meant by I could is I want to keep talking about my runner on second situation with 2 outs. Trying when to go to third and when not to. So again, one last time as I keep restating. They're not going to try and get you out at third. It's very unlikely. So you're comfortable getting your jump that way. Nice! I risked that going home. To be honest, I thought there were 2 outs. That's the problem with me talking versus not. I thought they had good defense. I thought that was their strength. I thought that was going to be costly against me. Shoot. Nicely done. Yes, Taylor. Oh, Taylor. Keep it up. Okay, before I keep talking again, I want to talk about this situation. First and third, obviously a steal situation. With 1 out, the computer's not going to be in the best interest, especially if they're playing in. We'll see if they're playing in. It's not going to be in the computer's best interest to attempt to go to second base when I'm up by 4 runs. Right? It would be against their goodwill to do that. Plus, Taylor's 99 speed, with their mojo kicking her speed probably past 100. I don't know if you've seen the bar things before there, but what she shows is the white bar is right on her 99, and then there's a little bit yellow after that. That means she's past 99 speed right now. And the catcher's arm is below that, which gives me a good matchup. They might try a pitch out for 1 pitch to try and get her out. And there's no cutoff play in this game, but I wouldn't do that as a defense. I would let her take this bag, hope I can strike this player out, and then press my luck against 3-4-5. Plus, the other thought is 3-4-5's coming up. There's a good chance she might score regardless of what happens, so there's that thought. Okay, here we go. I'm going to steal on the first pitch, because I want Kendall to be batting with runners on second and third. Let's see what they do. They go for second, and she makes it. Now, I'm not fast enough with the controls to come up with how to steal home. I assumed they weren't going to throw, but I don't know how this game thinks. So I don't really know what's going on there. Why do they say this team is customized by me? I haven't touched the Buzzards before. Maybe because I put them in this league. I don't know. I put random teams in the league. Okay. 1 out, second and third. And I promise I'll get back to my talk again. Maybe I'll have each game have a real-life strategic theme to it. And today's theme about when to go to third. Like when to go to third base. All right, infield's in. Kendall, look for a pitch up. That's a pitch up. And a bloop! And she's going to score. 1 run score. 2 run score. Ooh, this might be like that last game. And I bet this pitcher's not going to last for a long time. They're not even close to their part of the order yet where the pitcher bats again. So they're not necessarily afraid of pinch hit. I think this is going to be a good game, folks. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Look at Paige. Keep it up. All right. Oh, hang on. They just switched pitchers. I accidentally skipped right by it. Let's see this. Step out. Okay, not that good of a pitcher. Yeah, they don't have great pitching. I thought they had great defense, but they haven't shown it yet, and it's come at costly situations for them. Tag up. Don't tag it. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, look at that bench cheering her on. Dude, that was crushed. This team has no chance of winning. I'm just going to say this right now. This team has no chance of winning this game. Maybe I got to raise my batting difficulty. I don't know. I've played this game before where I've been shut out in like 2 hit. I don't know if I've done it with the Bearcats before, because this Bearcats team is good. But I know this is not a good pitching team, and you'll see how I fare against good pitching teams. How I fare poorly against them. All right, Kylie, just do your thing. Focus on your pitching. Don't get hurt doing what you do. Okay. And again, I do promise I'm going to get back to my... sorry, Kylie. My other talk. Sorry again, Kylie. I'm getting a little off base here. I'm getting a little too swing happy because of how happily I've been able to hit. And that's actually the worst thing that you can do as a player. You should... you should anticipate them throwing strikes because they say, we got to create outs. That's what the defense would say in this situation. But don't help them out. All right? Don't help them out. Make them dig their own grave. Geronimo James. This was the 2-hitter that I never got to really think about before. Good contacts, bad power. I'm going to throw them kind of down the middle in this scenario. I'm not doing them a favor. Oh, I am doing them a favor. I don't want to do them a favor and have them earn it themselves. I wanted to either steal a strike with a pitch I haven't thrown in a while. And also see how that guy hits. I know he's not going to hit a home run, but I'm not sensing home run in that scenario. Let's create an out. Make sure of 1. Good. Ooh. We've turned double plays before, the actual team. In softball, you don't turn very many double plays because the 60-foot base paths. Oh, here's a double play. Bona fide. Don't even have to give all that power. Nice job, Kylie. All right, 7, 8, 9. Let's do this. All 1 hit each. See, there's good balance in this lineup so far. Everyone's gotten a hit, but I don't know if Kendall. Kendall might have just gotten a blue hit, right? I think she did. Monet got it. I don't know if Monet got it. Okay. I want to talk about that runner on second thing again. I got to find a nice time to do it. This is a good break in the action to do it. Yeah! POTUS! You stay in that lineup too. Dulce are coming in this game soon, though. I'm going to determine that in just a moment. Okay. Runner on second. If freeze. Whoa. It's okay, Julia. If there are 2 outs and if you're on second base, how come in baseball it's kind of okay to be there, but softball it's not necessarily? Like, okay. I can't play this game and talk strategy. It's so tough. How come in baseball, being on second or being on third with 2 outs is almost like the same thing, but it's not necessarily for softball? Especially high school softball. Here's what I'm really talking about: high school softball. High school softball. There are a lot more opportunities that you'll seek where there's the potential for an infield hit, wild pitch or pass ball, illegal pitch. And with the outfielders so much closer, base hits with the runner on second aren't as likely to score runners, unless you know the outfielder's arm, aren't as likely to score runners as it is in baseball with their distance from home plate. You know, in baseball, the center fielder can be 350 feet away from home plate, and a base hit, although hit very hard, is, that's going to score a lot more runs. Nice sequence there, Kylie. See, I went around that rim there. I started from the high and outside and kept going around that way. I liked that sequence that she had. I'm going to bust this guy inside to start, even though he looks hot for whatever reason. Forget what he did. Now go soft away. Okay, so anyway, so the point is, if you get that runner on third in softball, there are a lot more opportunities to get that runner home, even with a meager, where's the ball? Even with a meager infield hit or wild pitch or pass ball or illegal pitch or that base hit that might not have scored that runner from second anyway. Right? I'm not going to go ahead and count off all the different ways that you can score a runner from third in softball, whereas like where you can for baseball or whatever like that, but just trust me on that. There is benefit to doing it there. Nice job, Kai. Wow. Looking good. She's thrown her 5 innings. She's going to keep going, but she's thrown her 5 innings here. What I'm going to do, Taylor's going to get her last step back here. Because I feel comfortable right now. I do. And you know what? If we lose this game, then it's on me. You'll know it's because I took her out. I'm going to give Taylor her last step back. Dulce's going to see the game. A lot of the bench is going to see the game here for sure, but Taylor's one of the culprits of being taken out here because I know how often I'm going to play her and how often I'll need her for those other scenarios. Again, you need to rest players. Look at that. You need to rest players in this game. Because I don't want to keep her on the base paths for this one if I'm actually going to be doing a sub. That would be ludicrous not to do anything otherwise. See, they want to pitch out. I'm not trying to steal right now. I get it. She stole last time. She's fast. They want to try and create outs. But they can't create walks here. And I don't know why I swung. They can't create walks here. That's the last thing that... And I'm helping them. Kendall. All right. We're back in business. Taylor, you're going to score. You're going to go on this bench here. Let's go. 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 Oh, they're not even trying. Easy. You know there's a mercy rule in softball. 10 runs ahead after 5 innings. We're the away team, but if we were the home team, this game would be over at this point. Okay, automatically I'm putting Dulce in right now. She's not really a center fielder, though. Kendall can play a lot of center. I'm going to do that. This would also be a situation to see Jada come back in. It's a less tense scenario, and it's something I can do with her. I'm going to consider doing more swaps here in just a moment. I'm even going to get probably Raya out of this game after this thing, too, so Monet can catch and Raya can... get some rest on it as well, because we're hot. We're gonna stay hot against pitching like this. They're not a good pitching team, apparently. Jeez, they're not. Okay. I'm gonna heavily consider upping my difficulty if it's gonna be like this. It's fun, but I'm not as excited anymore because it seems like I'm cheating myself almost. It's like, am I really deserving of this? You know? Have I earned this? I don't know. But I want to keep hitting home runs with Raya whenever I can. Why not? Oh. Again, the good news is the pitching is slow. When they throw, when they throw hard, is when I run into a whole bunch of trouble. Okay, just to remember this, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to get, I'll get Gabby back in at first base here. I want to do that. I'll get her appearances.
Now in the game, number 23.
That's good for now. Okay, apparently my recording stopped. My camera can only go 30 minutes at a time. I think it's a protection for the sensor or something like that. An APS-C sensor is not supposed to. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I don't think I lost much of what I was talking about. I was just thinking about, I put in Gabby Morgan at first base for Raya. Monet's going to catch. I have to keep a catcher in. Unless I don't want to. I can try somebody else catching. Try Jaro behind the plate. I think that sounds like a good idea. But no, there's always kind of a catcher in the lineup. That's kind of an interesting thing I have to always consider doing. But again, I might have to consider lowering or upping my difficulty here for hitting. Now, keep in mind, it's not like I'm this master at playing or anything like that. I need to see what I'm like. I'm not helping Monet here. I need to see what I'm like against a powerful pitching team. Oh, I was not paying attention to how many outs there were. This is what happens when I talk. I literally, I was paying attention. The problem was I thought there were 2 outs. Why did I think there were 2 outs? I'm not going to go back and count it. I seriously thought there were 2 outs. I don't even know why I was running anyway, right? There was no reason to. It looks like you're dominating the CPU team. Thank you. What's the next thing you want to tell me? Perhaps the game is too easy and it's time to change the difficulty? You can change your ego at any time. Ego is the difficulty meter. It's not like bragging rights. Even in the middle of a game, ego setting. I'm not going to change my ego for this game. I want to keep nice control and see how I am against a good pitching team. This was not a good pitching team. However, it just goes to show how dominant I might be. I might consider this the Ocean Division then if I end up being... Whoops! If I end up being... I pressed R2 to pitch. I didn't know I could do that. I want to go over pitching controls for a second. How do you select a pitch? Look on the right side and you can see where you can change your pitch type. I'm going around this wheel and you can see that little R thing moving around. That is my joystick, my R stick right here that I move to select the pitch. Afterward, you hold on to square. Apparently R2 works, but you can hold on to square or X right here. Square is for power pitching. X is for control pitching. I almost always exclusively use square. I like the challenge of not being able to hit my spots perfectly, and Dulce in the game, getting tested immediately. I like the idea of not being able to hit my spots necessarily each time. And I like being able to maximize my pitcher's effort to do so, to make things happen. Now, some people might be asking, does that lower the person's stamina if you use more power than control pitching? No. The developers have confirmed this. In fact, I was talking about the developers before when I talked about naming a French-Irish person. The development team, this isn't like a 100-person development team. I saw a photo of them. They have like less than 24 people. It's a small development team that makes this game. And I'm very appreciative for them making it. It's a nice alternative to my more realistic video game that I play. Okay, so they're at the leadoff spot. They're down 11-0. Way to be very kind to them, huh? All right, and Gabby, you are also tested. Okay. Wow. Meet commonly. Okay. More velocity. So I'm going to be battle tested right now. Less junk, less accuracy, but more velocity. Okay. Kylie, you're going to stay in, no worries. I'm going to get Osuna out here, and I'm going to go with, who can play? Maybe Morella in this case. Callista's also going to see some action in a bit. Don't yet know where. But I can get Morella for Julia. Where Julia's back at normal again. Her mojo, she's just at normal, neutral mojo, as they call it. Kylie, you're going to go the distance, dude. I'm not even going to throw my reliever. I don't want to throw my relievers after the last game, except for Alyssa. Yeah. Okay, 2-2. Yeah. Yep. Routine fly. Can of corn. I know it's like almost warning track, but it feels like can of corn. That needed a lot more effort to get out. Alright, POTUS, who's locked in, 2 for 3. I want to keep her in this lineup if she stays hot. Okay. I don't know what the scenario was that was brought about that I wanted to talk about the situation. Oh, there was a fly ball to left field. And I was talking about how I would consider tagging up with my player because of the situation. So let's talk about why you don't want to... No, I tried to check my swing. Let's talk about why you don't want to make the first or third out at third. I kind of talked about the third out at third thing because this is more for a baseball tone. It's true for softball as well, but it's more for a baseball tone. You are almost equally, not necessarily true, but just hear me out. You have a great chance of scoring from second with 2 outs. And it's not much less than your chance of scoring from third with 2 outs. Not much less. There are chances where you don't, right? But the chances, the risk that you run of attempting to advance to third on a play where you're risking getting that third out as opposed to letting the next at bat play out or the one after that if there's like a walk or something like that is not worth it. Kylie, finish! Yeah, she's throwing a one-hitter through 7 innings. If this were a regular softball game, if I get this third person out, knock on wood, that'd be a one-hitter for the game. But we throw 9 innings these days. Look at her stamina, too. Only 49 pitches thrown. This is fantastic for a team... Oh, jinxing. This is fantastic for a team that's... Well, I guess this team's not very good hitting. Okay, why don't you want to make the first out at third? Because let's consider the scenario that if you don't make that first out at third, that means there's still no outs. And it can take 2 productive at-bats to score a run. And the productive at-bats can in the form of sacrifices, like bunts or fly balls if there's a runner on third. Ground balls up the middle to the right side, something like that. You can manufacture a run out of creating 2 outs. And I'm not saying they're stealing. What are they doing? I don't care if they made it. You don't do that down by 11. That being said, I was caught off guard. You don't do that one down by 11. You don't play for 1 run in this scenario unless there is a true mercy rule and you're trying to just eke past that thing. You play for 11 and you don't risk getting out on base paths here. This is kind of what I'm talking about with the run around second thing. It's not worth the risk of creating that first out, attempting to go to third when you can... when that runner is very likely to score in that inning. I'm not saying it's more than 50%. I don't know what the percentage is. But the very fact that you can manufacture a run through the next 2 batters as they get out is very, very positive for you as a coach. And it gives you a lot of options. And it limits... I'm going to pull out Jaro now, because now that I meant to hit somebody. See, that's the problem when I'm talking. And get Callista in this game as well. Callista at second, or who's in my outfield? Page. Callista or Page at second? I'll keep Callista at second. I think I have her as it's a secondary position of her. Yeah, if you try and go to third. I can't do these conversations. I'm sorry. This is new for me. Whoa! Nice catch. I'm sorry, Dulce. And nice hit, Dulce. I can't do 2 things at once here, apparently. It's just too darn bad. I want to get Gabby her at bat, too. I want to make sure that she can get up. Well, she will. Even if it's next inning. Yeah, so, okay, so here's what I was saying. I was literally thinking about what I was saying as that was happening. So as a coach, you now have more wiggle room for what you want to do with that run around second and 1 out. Depends on who's up. Depends on who's going to be on deck. Depends on, or with no outs, excuse me. Depends on who's up, who's on deck, all that kind of stuff, and how you want to create that. Maybe it's that 9-hitter, and you want to bunt, and then the leadoff hitter's up. Exactly what I did in my situation. I think it was that situation. All right, Callista, I can only assume you're going to be tested here on the first batter, because that's how things work. So at second base, let's see what you do. So anyway, if you as a coach get more flexibility in what you can do on offense, then, the defense now has more to focus on with what to do, right? Now they have to think about, are they going to bunt? So now they're restricting their corners and their middle infield in what they can do. They have their pitcher attempting to throw certain ways, right? When you have more strategy, it counters, she just did it again. It counters what it is that the defense is now going to want to do. Wow, Kylie! Epic! It's not a good hitting team, but that does not take away from the fact that she's throwing awesomely, and I want to keep this up. Now, what happened in my situation was, and I think Julia was... Oh, switch! I can't get that one. I think Julia was on second base, and I think Jaro was up to bat, and she hit that deepish fly ball to left. I know I just gave up a triple. They're pinch hitting a person with a lot of contact and some power. Helena Bigsby. All right. Stay away from her. So there were no outs. Right? You're like, I thought, well, why are you talking about tagging up if there were... Whoops. There's the overdive. You've seen it up close and personal. That happens. And there's that trade-off of, should I dive, should I not dive? Sometimes I don't dive, and then it goes through, and I'm like, oh, I should have dove. And then sometimes I do dive, and that happens. So, it's so tough. Nevertheless, Kylie can still get out of this. Her mojo is lessened, though, unfortunately. I don't know why it's gone below. Oh, because she gave up a run. No shutout. I didn't even realize that. Nice, Kylie. Dude, keep it up. Okay. Max Texas. So they had a Maximo Primo as a closer. Here's a Max Texas. It doesn't say he's a closer. Check out his beard. I'm Max Texas. Okay, I want to get through this talk at the end of this thing. So, can Jada play short? Who can play short? I took out Julia, who would be my second option. Morella could, but then it's just switching short with third. I'm not having Jada really play the infield. She would play the outfield. I'm going to keep Jada out of this one. I'll get her in the next game. Yoop. Okay, so like a fly ball to left field. When they catch it, that's 1 out. So why is it worth the risk of advancing to third with 1 out, as opposed to no outs or 2 outs? Ooh, Gabby's up. Ooh, nice pitch. Well, nice pitch for me to hit. Well, because in that situation, if you're on second with 1 out, you can no longer get home with 2 creative productive outs, like a sac bunt and a sac fly. I'll just pretend like sac bunt and sac fly. With a sac bunt and sac fly, if there were at the time where there were no outs, I can't see. Did she make it? At the time where there were no outs, there's a possibility of being able to do that. However, with 1 out now, you sac bunt someone over, 2 outs, there's no sac fly opportunity. Sorry, Kylie. Not sorry, Kylie. Look at that little jam job. Ooh, nice piece. Don't risk going to third. There it is. See? Not worth the risk. Because if Paige Otis gets a base hit, guess what? I'm going to send the runner home on a base hit, and we'll see what happens. Assuming a base hit happens, which I shouldn't be heavily assuming, but the way Paige is hitting, why shouldn't I be? Why did I swing? I'm not going to get a base hit that way. That's why I swing. Oh, okay, here we go. Send her home. Let's see if it's worth the risk. This guy's a good arm. He cut it off! Oh, she... Who was running? I don't know who was running. I just said, whatever. We're up by 10, right? You want to play the risk of the aggressor when you're ahead. That's another strategy, because it's worth the risk, because if you score, you just get more. And you know what I mean. In overall baseball, softball strategy, what I feel is when you're ahead. See, there is a difference between being ahead and being behind. Being behind. If you are ahead, you get more opportunities to play the aggressor, play for one if you like to, do stuff like that. When you're behind, you want to limit the amount of outs that you create. That means less sac bunts. Sometimes. If you want to play 1 run, 1 inning at a time, that's fine. But if the other team keeps scoring runs, that's not the way you want to go about it. Kylie's going to throw a complete game here. Get to rest my relief pitchers. And she gets to feel good doing it. Just don't injure yourself. Your stamina's getting up there, or getting down. Ooh, don't say! Whee! Oh, I pressed the dive button. She didn't even dive. She must have known it wasn't a good scenario to dive. No way she could have caught that. Let's go, Kylie. Let's finish strong here. Ooh, our mojo's going down. No! Okay. Because this game's maybe about to end soon. I shouldn't speak too soon on that. I've lost a game in the last inning before. Not just in this game. I'm talking about real life. I want to think about what I was talking about. I know I was talking about the runner on third thing. Ooh, one other thing I want to mention, because it's come up a couple times. Line drives. You know when people say freeze on a line drive? It is what they mean, but they got to emphasize it even further. Freeze means do not move. But it also means don't even take a secondary lead after contact. You lead off, contact's made, you better not move from there. If you lead off and contact's made and you get an extra jump and you freeze, you are hung out to dry. You gotta freeze upon contact. You gotta make sure that line drive goes through. And if it goes through, you have a great chance, thank you for not swinging, you have a great chance at scoring there. That I have guaranteed. Good game! Nice job! Alright, Bearcats win. 2-0 record. Buzzards are now 1-1. Kylie gets her win and a complete game. I got to get a lot of players in there, which is what I love. I do want to look at that score breakdown, though, because I want to talk once again, here it is, about when that pitcher came in. The pitcher with more speed, I might have made some idiotic mistakes. I don't know when I did my stupid thing when there was a runner on second and I ran when there was 1 out. I shouldn't have ran anyway. It was a foul ball regardless of what you do. But I think that they neutralized me a little bit there. I'll look at it on the next page. Kylie gives up 5 hits and 1 run. No biggie. I think a walk as well. Let's see who the stars of this game are. I just bit my tongue. Paige Stovlin's obviously going to be a star of the game. Raya with another home run. Looks to potentially be a star here. I'm guessing either POTUS or Taylor will catch... No, Kylie's going to obviously get the limelight here. So if I'm going to guess my 3 stars of the game, I'd say Kylie's number 1. I'd say they go Raya 2, Paige 3, just because the home run sometimes creates extra little bit. I don't know, we'll see. The pitching. Okay, so commonly I think was the other fast pitcher. So the last 3 innings I didn't score any runs. And those 2 people, commonly, I forget the person's first name now. What was it? More commonly? I can't remember what it was. In Max, Texas, I remember that. Didn't give up any runs. Texas gave up 3 hits. But yeah, so against fast pitching, I still have some trouble. That's something to keep in mind. Kylie, what a game. Awesome. Okay, Paige was first. Kylie was second. Ooh, maybe because that 1 run. If she threw a shutout, who knows? And it looks like they gave more precedence to the RBIs. And the 2 extra base hits Paige got. Nice job overall, though. I'm going to take that win to the bank. Less exciting than the first game because the first one was fresh and brand new. And they didn't ever come back, so to speak. But excitement nonetheless. I'm going to take it, obviously. So there you have it. That's Brandon Robinson signing off. And stay tuned for game number 3. Right at you after this.